Is it full? It is full! Okay, so, which farm works? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Oh, we must have... Wait a minute, we're getting rotten flesh and arrows as well. So somehow we're actually getting things spawning in there that aren't supposed to be spawning in there. I hope those spawning floors aren't one block too low, but I would bet you that they probably are. I'm not sure why. They shouldn't be. But it looks like I'm going to have to tear this whole thing down and rebuild it. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages? Runtime Error back with another episode of Minecraft on the GlitchCraft server. So today, guys, I thought we're going to work on a little project. Let's see, we worked on a sugarcane farm in a previous live stream and used up all of our redstone. All of it. We had to borrow some from another server member in order to finish the project, and then between what we've got left and what we were able to dig out of our mine a little bit, I thought that today the best course of action will be to work on a witch farm. So we took a little bit of time in one of the past live streams and flew around looking for a swamp with a witch hut in it. We found one not too far from base, but I didn't really like the location of it. It was on land. It was surrounded by land. There was a whole lot of spawn proofing that was going to have to be done. So we kept going and we found this one. Not much better, but at least there's a bunch of water around, and I've spawn proofed a bunch of this area as well as destroyed all of the tree life that was here. So hopefully it will be enough, and if not, we'll be able to kind of monitor it and spawn proof it some more if need be. It shouldn't be that bad. But I've also gone ahead and taken down the entire witch hut structure and built sort of like a little perimeter here for us to work with. This is the outline of the witch hut. It's actually one block lower than the lowest spawnable pad. That way I could build on top of it and then just tear it down after the fact. So basically, to get started on this thing, we're going to need to find our materials wherever we put them. Let's grab a bunch of polished diorite and... Oh, did I not bring soul sand with me? I thought sure I brought soul sand with me. I did not. So into the nether to go get some soul sand, I guess. Real quick before we gather a bunch, let's just see if we've got any back at base. I do. 2 stacks to a stack and a half. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough or not, but it'll definitely get us started. So back to the witch hut we go. Okay, so we're back at the site of what was once a witch hut, our soon-to-be witch farm. With soul sand in hand, ready to go ahead and build the first layer of this spawning platform. Now this is a shifting floor design designed by Ilmango. There will be a link down in the description if you would like to see the tutorial, but essentially what happens is we're going to build 9 rows, 9 columns, I guess, just like this one here. And then we'll have pistons set up that push them back and forth when a witch spawns on the platform itself. And because the soul sand is... Let's see, can we actually show it? No, of course, hitboxes aren't going to actually show. Because the soul sand is just a few pixels smaller than a normal full-size block, what happens is the witches get sort of clipped into the full block. They fall down to the height of the soul sand, and then when the full block gets pushed into them, they clip into it just a little bit, and then that causes them to fall down through it to the killing system that we will have underneath. So basically, we just need to build all of these like so. All along here. It should be 9, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I'm doing it correctly, there are. Yes, there are. So we're all good there. And then one more roll of soul sand and 2 more rows of soul sand, and that's the platform done. And then on each side. Now, of course, we need pistons to move everything along, and I'm horribly unprepared as usual. And we're back. All right, so I've got the pistons here in place. You see there's an air gap here because these are directly on the block. So these pistons will push the entire floor this way, and once they do, then these pistons will fire and push them back again, or at least that's what we hope is going to happen. So the way that we fire this off, you see I've got tripwire hooks up here at this level, but I don't have any string down yet, so they're not actually being activated. We've got a sticky piston. I thought I had the rest of these done. Sticky piston behind that. So as soon as the tripwire hook is activated, it should send a signal to that piston, which is going to lower these observers, which will then fire. And we want to be able to activate them later to reset the system, so we'll do that. Fire off a signal to these repeaters. That will fire off these pistons, and then we've got these repeaters on 3. And these repeaters on 1. So these ones will go first, and then after a very short delay, then the other ones will go. So we just do that on the other side as well. Then these guys here. And then I've already got those in place. Perfect. And then also to make sure that the witches get stuck here where we need them to be. Here we go. Thought I had some. I'm going to need way more than this, but we're just going to put trapdoors on each one of these right here. That's not going to stop them from spawning. That's going to be a problem. We did it. It doesn't stop them from spawning, but it does keep them in this block as the floor shifts back and forth. And we can just test this one here real quick. I'm just going to need to gather a bunch more material to make this happen. If we shift click here, actually we don't even have to do that. We can click on the string itself. Alright, it activated, and you can see when we get in front of the string, the floor comes one way, and then it goes back the other. Perfect. So now we basically just have to finish out this level, and then build 3 more on top of it. Okay, almost done with the last layer. We ran out of string, getting all the tripwires hooked up, and so I thought this was a good opportunity to show you guys. I did actually make a bit of a spider farm a while back. We ran out of string when we were working on the slime farm, and I knew that I would need a bunch to get this witch farm done, so I made this string farm. Basically it's a double cave spider spawner back behind here. There's actually a triple. There's one over here as well, but unfortunately they're like it's like 18 blocks away from one of the spawners that's over here and 20 blocks away from the other one, so there's just like a little tiny gap where in between where there's no way for me to activate them all at once. The only way to activate them is to activate these 2 at once. I couldn't get that one as well. There's no XP. It's completely passive. I can just sit here and AFK, and you saw just a second ago how a spider came through here and died on the magma blocks that are there. It's a little bit lossy, not gonna lie. I've got these cactuses here because for some reason every now and then the spiders would get pushed in and they would just stop taking damage. And so I put the cactuses here so that they wouldn't back up, so that the next spider would just come along and push them into the cactus. And that means most of the time their drops get broken by the cactus. But you can see, I mean, I haven't even spent a whole lot of time here, and we've got a ton of string. You know, string is one of those things that you rarely need it, but when you do, you need a couple stacks of it. So this seems to be working out just fine so far. So now that I've got those, I'm going to head back to the witch farm, finish up the tripwire hooks, and then we'll be right back. Okay, all the tripwires are now in place. You can see that as I move along here, each one of the pistons on the far side in turn does get lowered, and lowers the observer in order to activate the piston in the shifting floor. And you can see that as we stand here, the piston there remains down. It does on the other side as well, and that's actually a potential for a problem down the road. Sometimes a witch might spawn in or start moving along and not get caught by the the shifting floor, and then it just stops there, and these pistons stay like that. And then if another one spawns in, it won't activate the floor. So we need to be able to clear that condition occasionally. And the way that we do that is actually quite simple. If we break the correct scaffolding, that would help though. Let's drop down here, head back over, and then let's see, right here. Oops, not drop down. Let's put a block here, and then we're gonna put a block here, I believe. Wait, here, and then we'll put a piece of glass right here. It could be a block, I guess, like so. And then we're gonna fall. That's not intended. We don't want to fall. And now we can put glass. I guess we'll just go there, and then fall again, and then right there. Okay. All along here. God, there's not an easier way to do this, but can I put it on the side of this? That may be a little bit easier. You can put it on the side of the string like that. Nah, it's really not that much easier. It's easier just to go backwards. We need to get the thing is we need to get around to this piston, and that's what those blocks over there are for. Where did this one end up? Is it on the piston? It's not. But I feel like maybe it should be. No, I'm doing this right. Okay, so now we're going to just run these along like so. Oh, we need this one here, one more. Now we can run our tracks along the glass. Just like that. Oh, nope, that was a torch. I need to pick this one up because it's in the wrong spot. There we go. Now, a couple of observers to watch those tracks. Let's pick this up. And then a block behind it with a repeater behind that going into this block, and then that will power these tracks. So if any of these are stuck in the down position, we'll set up a clock down here in a little bit as soon as we do the other side, and that clock will activate the rail, which will then send a signal to these rails, which will then activate any of these observers that happen to be stuck in the down position. So now on the other side, it's exactly the same thing as before. We could do this. Wait, let's do this. Observer into a block. And block and repeater, just like that. Okay. So now, coming under here, we're just going to do two. Oh, how can we do this? I need a... actually need that to be, oh yeah, I need it just like that, and then a block on top like that. And now this is where it gets kind of difficult. If we do this and this, and then there's like no good way to do this now that I have slabs all over the place. Perfect. Take that block and put another just like so. Let's go down. These scaffolds are great when you get the hang of them. That's all I'm going to say about that. I need one right there. There we go. Now that should end up being... yes, just above foot height on this last one. The problem is we can't have a solid block at foot height because that would cause problems with spawning. But it would just lower efficiency, basically. What it will do is it will make it so that any spawn attempts that try to go there and can't will just be canceled instead of trying to find another block, and that's not what we want. So if we do it like that, that's completely wrong. Runtime. I don't know, what are you thinking? What are you thinking there, buddy? This has got to go there with this here. Standard hopper clock. This is not a thing that we've never done before. Then break this. Okay, we'll get that other one back right now. And then did I bring my comparators with me? I did. Good. Looks like I brought all the things I needed. So, redstone dot. There and there. Comparator. There and there. Let's do this. Alright, fine. See, this is what I'm talking about. These things are great until they're not. Just like so. Now break this one and this one. Two hoppers facing into each other. We'll put a couple of sticky pistons off those redstone dots with a redstone block on one of them. And for the timing, we'll just do 4 items. There. Okay, perfect. We just saw it there. So, and then as it goes to this side, this activates this right here. And in fact, maybe a better way to look at that will be to pop up here and hold one of these down. Oh, I see. So the pistons stay down because the tripwire is down, but even though they are, the floors are still shifting. And so if anything gets stuck up here, then that will take care of it. Alright, now with that, all that's really left to do is to close this the rest of the way in so that witches don't come falling out the side. Probably don't need one there. But we don't really need one there, but we do need it here. Alright, so let me get the rest of this closed in with glass, and we'll take it from there. Alright, our platforms are covered in glass, and so that the witches can't get out, and we've got a roof over this thing to reduce all of the light levels to 0. We did end up running into our nether portal here, but that's fine. We'll take care of that in a little while. Eventually, it's going to be up at our AFK platform up in the sky anyway, so we'll move it and fill in this little bit here as well. It also came up over the land a little bit, but I'm really not too concerned about that. Point being, we may not have needed it to be a complete roof, but we've got it anyway, just to be on the safe side. We've got it all lit up under here, so I'm not too worried about it. We do have to kind of be careful coming down here, because there may have been witches spawning while we were flying. Nope, looks good. So now what we really need to do is just set up a collection area and a kill area. We're going to entity cram these guys, so I started kind of putting a box around here like that, and then I ran out of glass and had to go get more. So let's just finish this around here real quick like, so that all the jumping is done and we don't have to do that anymore. Maybe. Okay. Man, we still gotta go this way. Come on, get there. And then I don't need these ones in the corners anymore. Come on, break. Thank you. Give me that glass back. We can do that here in a second. So now up here, what we need to do, let's put down this so I have a little bitty stepping stone, so we can avoid all that needless jumping. 3 out, it gives us a 3 wide gap. That's perfect. We're going to put walls like so that they can actually come down a little bit further. These are actually going to have to come down 3. Like that. And then we'll put a couple more right there as well. Now we'll need to put some hoppers down. And in fact, is that right? No. It's too early for hoppers. Too early for hoppers runtime. We're actually going to have to come down another 3 here. But we can start putting a platform like so. That's what we're trying to do. Not this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. And that's going to be for the water channel to drop down. Actually, I think I built that whole thing 1 too high. I did. Okay, I've got that little section of glass floor dropped down a block the way that it needs to be, and then we can put a sign right there to stop the water coming down, and bring these down 3 more. Just like that. Alright, perfection. Now we can do this right here. Let's go ahead and grab... Let's see, can I do this? I can, doesn't matter because I didn't really need to. This has to be over here. And then hoppers like so. Oh, not like that. Not like this. Right there. Glass down the way that it needs to be. We'll throw a powered rail on top of this hopper here going that way. And this will be the drop chute where the witches come down. We'll put 25 mine carts on top of that rail right there so that they just entity cram right away. All of their drops will go into those hoppers. And then eventually we'll set up item collection as well to get them out of the way. But for now, let's do this. Fill in the rest of this floor. And wall. Just like that. And when we're just going to fill this all the way back to cover up this 9x9 area. Just like that. And now that all the glass is in place, we can come into the corners here, drop a water source here, a water source here, and that should, if we've done it correctly, yes, push everything into the middle and right into this drop chute here so that they can all die. Now, I need a way to get out of here. I was thinking that I could just bust this out and jump out, but that's only a 1 high block, and if I do it over here, then I have a wall in my way. This gotta be a way. About like this. Just like that. And then come back over. And then we can pop up and fill that hole back in. Brilliant. Alright, so all we should really have to do now is put a bunch of minecarts right here, but of course we've got a ton of iron from the iron farm, so that's not a problem. I'm going to do that, and then set up an AFK platform up above here, and then hang out for, I don't know, I'll probably go eat dinner, and then we'll come back and we'll see how much loot we've got. Alright, we've been AFK for an hour and a half now. I just had dinner and spent some time with the family. And now let's see if we've got any drops and what kind of drops we've got. First, let's sleep, so that's not quite so darn dangerous over here. Alright, hop down here. Oh boy. Okay, no problem. We got you. We got you taken care of. Apparently they killed a guy. Oh, it's spilling out. Wait a minute. Why is it spilling out over there? Is it full? It is full. Okay, so which farm works? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Oh, we must have... Wait a minute. We're getting rotten flesh and arrows as well. So somehow we're actually getting things spawning in there that aren't supposed to be spawning in there. I hope those spawning floors aren't 1 block too low, but I would bet you that they probably are. I'm not sure why they shouldn't be, but it looks like I'm gonna have to tear this whole thing down and rebuild it 1 block higher. Alright, witch farm has been torn down and rebuilt. I actually had to build it 1 block lower, not higher. I ended up using my camera account before I tore the whole thing down just to kind of troubleshoot and figure out where the problem was. By leaving my main account here AFK'd at the AFK location and using the camera account to spectate the farm, I was able to see that all of the non-witch spawns were happening on the first platform. So I tore the whole thing down, built it 1 block lower, and then we were getting witches on all 3 platforms, which was perfect and exactly what we wanted. I also went back and checked out some of the footage and started kind of editing this video together and realized that at some point apparently I had some sound issues, so I apologize for that. If you're still watching, Thanks for hanging out through the sound issues and all the things. But anyway, we also I went ahead and built a very small storage room up at the AFK spot. We moved, as you can see, the portal over here. It's nothing special. It's just a tiny little room with enough storage for all the things and all the drops. This is sort of a beginning witch farm deal, just so that we can really get the infinite amounts of redstone here. Wow, as you said, and I've actually been AFK here for quite a while, which is why there's so many drops here. But at some point on the server, we'll probably find like a double or triple witch hut if we can, and build a more efficient. I don't know if more efficient is the right word. Yeah, I guess more efficient and cooler farm around that. But you know, right now we just really need the redstone, is what this is all about. So so this is it right here, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out and watching the series. If you haven't seen the rest of the series, don't forget to take a look. There should be a link to the playlist and the final credit deals. Until next time, this is Runtime Error signing out. Peace.